Okay, good morning. Good morning here at Martinsville Speedway. We're halfway home in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup, and 5 to go. We've got an exciting race for the championship upon us, and certainly one of the key players in that has joined us here at the Media Center, and that's Kevin Harvick. He drives the number 29 Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet for RCR, and he's currently third in points. And Kevin, with 5 to go, certainly this weekend is one that you want to try to really take advantage and have a good showing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been a performance-wise, I feel like it's been a good racetrack for us. We enjoy coming here and feel like we run well. We just need to get the finish this weekend that we feel like we can get. So feel good about that. I feel good about where our car should start today and the car that they brought. Everything on the car is better than what we raced the first race. And aside from a parts failure, I think we ran really well. So we just go out and do what we know how to do and start going forward over these last 5 weeks. I think they're good racetracks for us. We got through Charlotte and Dover without any major disasters, so looking forward to the next 5.
And one other question I have for you, Kevin. Tums is our race sponsor here on Sunday, and they've got a real cool program that they've been promoting over the last couple of months. The Grand Marshals, the pit crew members. One pit crew member from each of the 43 race teams will be honorary Grand Marshal for Sunday's race and actually give the command to start the engines. And I know that the pit crews are a vital part of your all's success.
Yeah, and for us, Mark, our truck driver, is going to be the guy representing our team this weekend, and he is from a mile from here. So this area is obviously a big area for a lot of the team members. With the Wood brothers being near here, they've produced a number of good team members and guys that have been a part of the sport for a long time, and also with the Petties and Childress and all the different teams that are centrally located away from Mooresville and kind of up near this area. It's cool to see those guys get a little recognition that have been a part of the sport for a long time.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll take questions now. If you raise your hand high, we have some wireless mics. Where's our wireless mics? Okay, 2 young ladies right here. Let's start here with Mike Embry. Come over here to Mulhern, and we'll get Mr. Jeff Owens right here. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Embry, Speed.com. Kevin, what's your perspective on why this track seems to be so difficult for even good drivers to get adjusted to? Is it that different from short tracks that guys raced on coming up, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's just I think it just goes in streaks. It's no different than any other racetrack you go through. 3 or 4 or 5 years where you run good, and for some guys it's probably like Charlotte is for us. I mean, it's just a racetrack where you just can't get everything figured out, and so you just never have a good feel for what you need in the car. But and that's probably one reason why it's so hard is everybody did grow up on short tracks, so the tolerance for not for being off is very small, and you wind up when you're off a small bit, but it's a lot here. So you're looking at hundredths of a second here in qualifying, and a lot of the same times, and so when you wind up with the competition being that close when you're off, it's a mile here. It's a lot of spots. It's not just 4 or 5 spots. It's 10 or 15 when you're off a 10th.
Let's go Mike Mulhern, Jeff Owens, David Newton, and the gentleman in the back. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Mulhern, MikeMulhern.net. It looks to me like you've got to hit a home run sooner or later. I mean, Jimmy's sort of slipping away. You and Denny are the 2 guys trying to chase him right now. This is a great track for Jimmy and Denny. I don't know how good a track it is for you. If you get past this one, Talladega would be good. Do you have to hit some home runs to catch Jimmy, or can you just kind of try to hold on to him?
Or just hit him. No, I'm just kidding. Kinda. No, I mean it's a decent racetrack for us. Obviously, those guys have got the results to back it up, but we've gone from the beginning of the chase and overachieved on everything that we've done. This has just been a good year for us, and we're not going to do anything different. If we hit a home run this weekend, we hit a home run. If we don't, there's no reason to worry about trying to force anything, and we just got to keep plugging away. So I feel like we need to win a race in the next 5 to make it happen. But when you start forcing things to happen, you'll wind up with a 35th, and then you'll be done. So to be in the game, you have to be close enough to be a part of the game, and we'll just keep racing.
Let's go Jeff Owens, David Newton, and the gentleman in the back. Go ahead.
Jeff Owens, St. Daily. Kevin, I guess you're going to run a black paint scheme some next year. Is that a tribute at all to Earnhardt, or any sort of significance to that?
Nope.
Okay.
David Newton right here. Raise your hand high there, David.
Yeah, Kevin. Wanted to ask you, you mentioned earlier Jimmy and Denny obviously have had great results here, won the last 8 races. Their average finish is unbelievable here. In NASCAR, you don't really have a 1 versus 2 showdown like you have in a lot of other sports. But does this, if any track, have a kind of a feel
Somebody's
for that?
Somebody's speaking down on you.
Does this race kind of have
Did you
a
do something wrong
one
that we don't know about?
kind of a 1 versus 2 feel to it all because of that, or more?
Who's 1, who's 2?
Coming from his mic.
Who's 1, who's 2?
Does it have like a 1 and 2 feel because those two guys are so dominant here in 1
I think it has a spoiler feel to it. I'm going to spoil the 1-2 showdown this weekend, hopefully. So I don't really care about them.
Okay, wow.
Okay, am I fine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool, I got the good mic. Kevin, Damian Sorrell at Danville Register and B. Kind of what off Mike and David just asked. Do you have a mindset for what you want to do this weekend, or do you have a certain points gap that you want to close in on heading into the?
I just told you what I wanted to do this weekend. I want to do what we've been doing. I want to go out and race as fast as our car will go and race our own race.
Dustin Long has a question, and I'm not sure. Monty, did you have one?
Oh, I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid, Monty. Go ahead. It probably is. Go ahead.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Kevin, in the spring race, we saw with a caution with about 10 laps, less than 10 laps to go, the top 2 guys come in and hit. One guy got 4, one guy got 2. Obviously, Denny was helped by having another caution after that, but certainly the fall race has had a number of times here lately where there have been cautions within the last 15 laps. With what Denny was able to do, does that make people reconsider what they might do in those situations, or you just have to look at it as what happened in the spring is he got awfully lucky with getting that second late caution?
Now, see, that's a good question, so don't be afraid to ask a good question. I think, you know, we've looked at the tape a lot this week, and you know, we look at the strategy of tires versus no tires versus track position, and it seems like the tires, well, they obviously mean something. But I think if you look at the circumstances where, you know, I think if that wasn't the 20 car that let Denny in, he probably gets wrecked by somebody else. If that was me, he would have been wrecked because he wouldn't have got in that hole. And we probably both would have wrecked because it's just he forced his way down on his teammate, and that's really what allowed him to win the race. But I think if the circumstances the circumstances played out exactly how they needed to for him, with the 17 and the 24 obviously having something brewing there as far as a feud at that particular point and running into each other, and it all just played out for him. And I don't think in circumstances without the 20 car being there, I don't think tires would have made it all the way back to the front. So I think in if that circumstance played out again and the 20 car is not there, I don't think he makes it back to the front. That's what we analyzed this week anyway.
Let's get gentleman Chad right here a microphone if we could, please. Right here. Raise your hand. Right here. Sounds like we got Peter Frampton in here. Go ahead.
Kevin, I know you love short track racing. I'm Chad with BTW, by the way. You do a lot with us here. We appreciate that. Tell me a little bit of how you feel about short track racing here at Martinsville as far as you see these guys spending a little bit of money to keep this track up to date and keep the fans happy. And, hey, that's how this race is won, bringing fans in the door.
Well, I think for everybody in the garage, we all grew up on short tracks, and we all enjoy coming here. I think it's a racetrack that kind of brings us all back to our roots. And this particular racetrack has been a part of NASCAR for a long time, and I think it's it's fitting that it's in the chase, and it's kind of that wild card feel as far as you know, you can get caught up in something here just like you can at Talladega. Maybe not to the magnitude of Talladega, but there's always that little bit of unknown. So it's a great place. They've done a good job with upgrading the facilities and continuing to do that, and it's a fun little racetrack.